Prabhu is saying Vyasasana after Vyasasana, on top of that one more Vyasasana, is it?
Jai.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Jaya. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaura Premanandi. Jaya Om Vishnupadaya Paramahamsa Paribhaktiacharya Stotara Abhayacharana Vinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder-Acharya Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri 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 Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Marani Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaunitai Ki Jai. Shri 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 Radha Vallabha Bhagavani Ki Jai. Narishinga Bhagavani Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, titled The Activities of the Prachetas. Text number 48. Techa Brahmina Adesan. Techa Brahmina Adesan. Marisam Upaye Mire. Marisam Upaye Mire. Yasya Mahat Avajnanad. Yasya Mahat Avajnanad. Ajani Ajana Yojina. Ajani Ajana Yojina. Techa Brahmina Adesan. Techa Brahmina Adesan. Marisam Upaye Mire. Marisam Upaye Mire. Tasya Mahat Avajnanat. Tasya Mahat Avajnanat. Ajani Ajana Yojina. Ajana Ajana Ajani Ajana Yojija. Yonija. Marisam Upaye Mire. Yasya Mahat Avignanat. Ajani Ajana Yonija. Tesa Brahmina Adesan. Narisam Upaye Mire. Tesha Brahmina Desa. Techa Brahmina Adesan Marisam Upaye Mirim Yasya Mahat Avajnanat Ajani Yojina. Te, all the Prachetas, Cha, also Brahmana of Lord Brahma, Adisat, by the order, Marisam, Marisa, Upaye Mere, married, Yasyam, in whom, Mahat, to a great personality, Avajnanat, on account of disrespect, Ajani, took birth, Ajani Yonija, the son of Lord Brahma, Daksha. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Following the order of Lord Brahma, all the Prachetas accepted the girl as their wife. From the womb of this girl, the son of Lord Brahma, named Daksha, took birth. Daksha had to take birth from the womb of Marisa due to his disobeying and disrespecting Lord Mahadeva, Shiva. Consequently, he had to give up his body twice. We read the translation responsively. Following the order of Lord Brahma, all the Prachetas accepted the girl as their wife. From the womb of this girl, the son of Lord Brahma, named Daksha, took birth. Daksha had to take birth from the womb of Marisa due to his disobeying and disrespecting Lord Mahadeva Shiva. Consequently, he had to give up his body twice. As usual, short and a sweet purport by Srila Prabhupada. Let us listen attentively. In this connection, the word Mahat Avajnat is significant. King Daksha was a son of Lord Brahma. Therefore, in a previous birth, he was a Brahmana. But because of his misbehaving like a non-Brahmana, a Brahmana, by insulting or disrespecting Lord Mahadeva, he had to take birth within the semen of a Kshatriya. That is to say, he became the son of the Prachetas. Not only that, but because of his disrespecting Lord Shiva, he had to undergo the tribulation of taking birth from within the womb of a woman. In the Daksha Yajna arena, he was once killed by Lord Shiva's servant Veerabhadra. Because that was not sufficient, he again took birth from the womb of Marisa. At the end of Daksha Yagna and the disastrous incidents there, Daksha offered his prayer to Lord Shiva. Although he had to give up his body and take birth from the womb of a woman impregnated by the semen of Kshatriya, he received all opulence by the grace of Lord Shiva. These are the subtle laws of material nature. Unfortunately, people in this modern age do not know how these laws are working. Having no knowledge of eternity, of the spirit soul and its transmigration, the population of the present age is in the greatest ignorance. Because of this, it is said in Bhagavatam 1.1.10, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagyahi Upadhrita. The total population in this age of Kali is very bad, lazy, unfortunate, and disturbed by material conditions. Now, about the disturbance, we need not have to mention currently. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Tadati Swapadantigam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Following the order of Lord Brahma, all the Prachetas accepted the girl as their wife. From the womb of this girl, the son of Lord Brahma named Daksha took birth. Daksha had to take birth from the womb of Marisa due to his disobeying and disrespecting Lord Mahadeva Shiva. Consequently, he had to give up his body twice. Okay. 4th canto, 30th chapter, text number 48 we are in. Okay. So let us quickly recap chapter 30. It's always better to recap and to start. Text number 1 to 21, Prachetas are chanting the song given by Lord Shiva himself, and they attain the darshan of Lord Vishnu. Text number 22 to 32, the Prachetas offer obeisances to the Lord in the form of prayers. Text number 33 to 46. We are still not reached our text. So text number 33 to 46, the Prachetas request benediction from the Lord. And then text number 47 to 51, Prachetas emerge from the sea. And we are going to see what they are going to do now. We have already seen a few things and more things to follow. So what's happening is, after Narada Muni was giving instruction to Prachiniya Bharisat, and Prachiniya Bharisat obeyed the instruction respecting Narada Muni, and what he did, he left his kingdom and he went to do austerities. At that time, the Prachetas were not in the kingdom. Where were they? Underwater, correct. They were doing severe austerities for 10,000 years underwater. But Prachiniya Bharisat did not wait for his children, did not wait for them to return back. He left. In the meantime, there were no rulers to rule the kingdom. And therefore, the trees have overgrown. That's also praja, a subject. So they did not listen. See, they were overgrown, and they were covering the length and breadth of the country. This was going on. At the time, Lord Vishnu was satisfied with Prachetas' prayers. He came underneath the water. They had a darshan of the Lord. They asked for benediction, and the Lord also went. And then, at this point in time, the Prachetas, they emerged from the sea. When they came from the sea, they saw the land completely covered with trees everywhere, plants, trees, overgrown, tall. Not the trees of the Kali Yuga. It have a bud and then it will go away. This is very tall trees everywhere. Then, looking at all these trees like that, the Prachetas got very angry. Why did they get angry? They've just seen Lord Vishnu. But looking at that status, they got angry. Why is that? Because they were going to rule the kingdom shortly. They knew that. And what was also happening is, these trees, they have occupied the farmland, which means they have occupied all the agricultural land, meaning that there is no grain production at that time. Without grain production, how can human being survive? So considering the welfare of everyone, they got angry. So is it genuine? Considering the welfare. So what they did was, they had developed a lot of austerities going underneath the water. And therefore, they used the power of their austerities to burn all the trees to ashes. Sorry, Prabhu. Did I miss anything? Then, it is not good, because they're burning left and right like a forest fire. They're burning. Looking at this situation, Lord Brahma was not very happy. He came down, or to pacify, he did not come down actually. Did he come down? He came down, okay. I'm just checking. He came down to he wanted to pacify the Prachetas. So what he did was, he ordered the predominating deities of the trees. Who is that? Who is the predominating deities of the trees? It is said Soma is the moon god. See, it is said that the moon god, right, or the Soma, is very instrumental in the vegetable, in the vegetation. And he imparts a little bit of juice and all that stuff into the vegetable, because every vegetable has got a juice. And therefore, when Srila Prabhupada was told at that time that people went to moon, and in the moon it was just dry, there was no vegetation, Prabhupada said, no, they would have not have gone. Because Prabhupada's simple logic, forget about spirituality, simple logic was, moon god was in charge of the vegetation. And you can see that in the material world, with your own eyes. But the place where he is there, if there is no vegetation, how can it be possible? It's impossible, no logic. Therefore, he said, they have not gone to moon. That's for Soma. He is a predominating deity, and he is in charge of vegetation. Okay? So Brahma said that, okay, he is a proper person, he thought. Okay, he said, now he is burning. You have to cool down his anger. So what you do is, in return, you have got this daughter, Marisa. Get married to the Prachetas. Because they have to, anyway, the population has to grow and things like that. So get married. Then Soma listened to Lord Brahma, and they gave this daughter to Prachetas. At this is a verse we are coming at. So at 48, what's happening is Prachetas, with the union of Prachetas and Marisa, our Daksa is born, again reborn. So this is a situation. Now, especially in text number 48, Srila Prabhupada is talking about the second birth of Daksha. Okay. We'll go a little bit deeper into the purport. So, the trees. We see in Bhagavatam that just now in this verse and the previous verse that the trees are burnt and things like that. Do any of you think of a tree or remember any point about the tree in a different scripture, an important scripture? Yes, very good. Brahmana, see? Yes, Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhu? Any tree has been mentioned? Chapter 15. He has hit on the nail, on the head of the nail, on the dot. Correct. Chapter 15 also, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, explains in the chapter 15 that this material world is a reflection of a tree. Actual tree is existing in the spiritual world, but here it is just a reflection with the branches down and the root up. And what we are doing, like a monkey, we keep on moving from branches to branches in this material world. So this scenario is given there. And one more thing regarding this banyan tree or the tree is there is a place in India, Jyotisar, in Kurukshetra. Anyone been there? In that place, this banyan tree is an immortal banyan tree. It has witnessed the Bhagavad Gita conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. This tree is about 5,000 years old. Over that even. They put there also board and people come there. It's like a pilgrimage. This tree has witnessed Krishna. It's a banyan tree also. And Krishna explains about banyan tree in chapter 15. So I was thinking incidentally, So, okay. Now, we will go or we will look little bit into the background of Marisa and Daksha's second birth. Because that's what it's said in this verse. Now, because Daksha is born to Marisa and Prachetas, we should also know a little bit about Daksha's mother. Correct? Marisa. Yes? So let us explore. Marisa was born out of union between sage Kandu and Pramlocha, who is a celestial damsel from Indra's planet. See, normally, in India we've heard about only the couple, Ramba, Urvasi, Menaka. That's what we heard. But all these extra fittings, we don't know. It's slowly coming, Many, we've not even heard that, but you know what I mean. But Ramba, Urvasi, Menaka, they're the principle. Everywhere they'll be there too. So, sage Kandu and Pramlocha, who's a damsel, from the heavenly planet. Sage Kandu is a very powerful sage. Yeah? He was doing meditation on the banks of Gomati river, doing his austerities. As you know, sages, right? They keep on doing austerities and, meditating. Indra, just looking at the sage, always is envious, thinking that his position will be taken away. So what he did was, he thought he's doing severe austerities. Probably he is trying to attempt to take my throne. And therefore, what he did, he sent this, he called Premlocha and said, go and disturb a sage. At that time, what Premlocha did was, she took the help of Kama, Cupid. Kama, God, love of God of love. Because you need the sage is not an ordinary person. It's not like you and me. He's a very, very powerful person. He will not be disturbed by just someone coming and hello, how are you? He is not disturbed. But we are always disturbed immediately, like that. So the sage is very powerful. So there is a backup plan also. The plan has to be stringent, powerful. So what she did was, she's an order from Indra, demigod, her boss, go and disturb him. So she was thinking, oh, this setup. Okay, she took the help of Kama, Cupid, and then she also took the help of the spring season. Spring season, is externally, very favorable to attract a person. And the wind god, the breezes, breeze is also one more factor to increase the lust. Because after all, if you really go a little bit deeper, lust is nothing but a skin disease. Actually, if you really go a little bit deeper, it's just the contact of air and the skin. That is what lust is, nothing more. It's just a skin therapy, right? Just a contact between skin. So you need air. So how is she planned, you see, right? Kama god, air, and the season. She bought all the three, and she set up, nicely. And when the breeze is blowing, the season is good, she went into his garden and started taking all the flowers. This is something like you can see that in the story of Mohini. Lord Shiva is also very powerful, but Mohini came and the wind, the breeze was going and the sari, was going, and it's something like that. It just because Lord Shiva himself was bewildered. So that is a setup. Of course, we are not directing a movie here. I'm just telling you how powerfully they planned this. So just to understand this. And so, she was taking flower and all that. And how the sage, when they're meditating, they, look into the gardens and all that, At that one point, she was waiting patiently. At one point when he saw, the sage was really attracted because of the season, because of the environment. And then the sage went, see, those days, yet, even though a person wants to have a union, it is a procedure. They have to follow a procedure. So he went and approached her, and he said, see, I like you. I want to get married to you. That's the procedure. He said, okay. Immediately she's meant for that. He said, okay. And then they married, basically. But what has happened was, they did not realize the time. Because what has happened is, after the marriage, after some time, suddenly, one day afternoon, this is very, serious, you should see how it is. One day afternoon, this sage Kandu walked out of the house. He said, I want to go and do my evenings, Gayatri. Then this girl was laughing. Ha ha ha. Gayatri? What do you mean? He said, how we got married and all that, and now morning is there, evening I want to do my Gayatri. She laughed. Don't you know that 1600 years have gone? 1600 years have gone with our association. Don't you know that? This sage was, say for example, you slept for 3 days and someone said, Prabhu, 48 rounds are due for you. You slept for 3 days. You get, what is happening? 3 days I slept. And then immediately you get a bit of, angry. What is this? 3 days I have not chanted. Like that. So he said, what is going on? 1600 years. We have spent unnecessarily on this. And then he got a little bit angry. looking at her anger, she was a bit uncomfortable. And she thought, okay, I'm not going to stay. Because this guy is not in his normal terms. And she got angry. And she also left. So what has happened was, Sage was angry. She was angry. And she said, okay, I've got a place. I'll go to Indra. She left. She had taken a decision. Now the girl is there. The child was born. Eventually, whatever may be the time. And the girl was there. So this girl has to be taken care of. So they gave the girl to the care, under the care of the trees, predominating trees. And Soma was in charge. And you can see that in text number 13, it is said that once a child was crying, the moon god put his finger. It was moon god's finger, and the child was feeling happy and all that. The text was there. Something like that. So here, the same moon god has been there, and the moon god took the responsibility of taking care of Marisa. And now this Marisa has come into the picture where Marisa is getting married to the Prachetas. With their union, which is happening in the text number 48, Daksha is born. Earlier in the Canto 4, we have seen the story of Daksha, right? Daksha we have seen. It was a very long chapters. Right? So, we know the story, We don't want to go in there. But in short, Daksha made a yagya. All the personal dignitaries have been invited, were invited. At that time, Brahma was there, Lord Shiva was there. When Daksha came into the arena, Brahma was sitting down. Lord Shiva was also sitting down. But Daksha took this as an insult. Brahma is okay, he's my father. But Shiva is my son-in-law. He's a junior. How come he's, sitting down? He got angry, and that angry turned into argument, cursing, counter-cursing. And then, guess what? Daksha head was cut off by Veerabhadra, the Lord Shiva's servant. Simply cut off the head. No talking. You're talking too much, cut off. Those days, look at the punishment, And then Daksha, with great difficulty, got the head of a goat head. Daksha, Prajapati, whose body was shining when he entered into the arena, imagine head is cut off, goat head. It's a big, disrespect and humiliation for him. So what did he do? He gave up his life. But before that, he did something. What did he do? He went and apologized. He asked for forgiveness from Lord Shiva. That thing he did, one. And second, in the verse, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur is mentioning that Daksha's pastime took place in the first Manvantara, which is Swayambhuva Manu Manvantara. Then he took second, third, fourth, fifth, till the end of the fifth Manvantara. Almost one he finished, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 Manvantaras. It's a very long time. Daksha has been constantly performing austerities. 4 Manvantara, imagine. In a day of Brahma, there is 14 Manus. And one day of Brahma is 1000 Yuga life cycles. Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. That is 1000 times 4, like that. It's very huge. So, for nearly 4 Manvantaras, Daksha was meditating. And then, by the grace of Lord Shiva, in the 6th Manvantara, which is Chakshus, he was given an opportunity to be reborn as the same Daksha, with his opulence, with his luster body. But there is one problem. What is the problem? That Srila Prabhupada is talking in the purport. What is the problem he's talking? He got everything. So one may think, what's the big deal? I can keep offending, and disrespecting Vaishnavas. Right? He got the same thing. What's the big deal? So that is why Srila Prabhupada took some, time and care to write down this purport. So what does it Srila Prabhupada says in the purport? Yes. Before, original first time Daksa was the son of Brahma, mental son. He did not come out of the womb. Mentally from Brahma he was born. But because of his offense, and he was also a Brahmana before. So Brahma's mental son and Brahmana. But now because of the offense, what happened? He degraded. He was put into the womb of a lady, one, and two, he was born as a Kshatriya. See, that is what it is. This is the thing. But he got the same position because of the austerities he performed. So he was given a reward. Same Daksha, same body, similar body, whatever may be. But your birth will be degraded. So this is what happens. If someone doesn't take up Krishna conscious, every birth will be degraded because a metal energy has got a degrading effect. If we did not take up Krishna consciousness in this birth, our next birth would have been degraded. It goes without saying. But on the contrary, if we have taken up Krishna conscious in this birth, our next birth will be upgraded. So, how the body works is based on the consciousness. The better the consciousness, the better the body. If your consciousness is in the mode of goodness, you get a demigod body. If your consciousness is in the mode of passion, you get a human body. If your consciousness is in the mode of ignorance, you get an animal body. If your consciousness is always fixed on Krishna, you get a spiritual body. See? The better the consciousness, the better the body. So therefore, this Krishna conscious movement, it fine-tunes the consciousness, makes the consciousness purer, better, to get a better body. So how important is this process given by Srila Prabhupada? So from Brahmana, he became a Kshatriya. And that is how he has taken his second birth. So in the first birth, it was first Manvantara. The second birth was in the sixth Manvantara, Chaksus Manvantara. Okay. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada is talking, if one does not know the laws of subtle nature, then one will end up in problem. What is the law of subtle nature? It is the law of subtle nature means one should know that he is a spirit soul, and the process of transmigration, the material nature is covering the soul. All these are subtle laws. If you don't know, right, we will be lost. Okay. So this is a good, So the Srila Prabhupada is saying, in this way, the subtle laws. Unfortunately, people in this modern age do not know how these laws are working. Having no knowledge of eternity of the spirit soul and its transmigration, the population of the present age is in the greatest ignorance. Suffering. Ignorance means suffering. Correct, Prabhu? Right? Ignorance means suffering. So, the point is, if you don't know the laws properly, you will end up in trouble. I'll give you a very practical and personal example I went through. Okay? In 2016, I'd been to Mayapur, and then I thought I will go to Jagannath Puri. I went also there. I was there for a few days. On my way back, I requested, there's a contact with the Pujari and all that. I told them, I want to take some, within India it is okay. You can take the sweets. Only when you come overseas is a problem. So within India, I thought, anyway, I'm going to my native Coimbatore, South India, bottommost. So I thought, I'll take some sweets, okay? Jagannath, the tongue, it's very opulent. And what can you say, Jagannath Mahaprasad, So I told this Pujari, please, pack, nice pack. Get it ready. I will just come, You get it? And then just before the flight, I'll go. Now, if you know, Jagannath Puri is about 60 kilometers from Bhubaneswar, which is a city, which is an airport. There is no airport in Jagannath Puri. So you have to go to Bhubaneswar and then take a cab. Scenario. So I collected the Mahaprasad in a big box. He gave it in a box and then a plastic bag. I took it. Car, airport, time, seeing, half an hour, 20 minutes, boarding time has come, checking. I'm going into the checking. Okay? You know, in the checking, right, you have to put all that, into the screener. What do you call that, Prabhu? Scanner, is it? Scanner or something. You know how they see all that. Then it goes to the scanner and there are two security guards, looking into that, whether it's a bomb or something, Listen to this. It went. I was happily, I thought, okay, I will be boarding the flight. I got Mahaprasad and all that. Then the security guy called me. Because they will not talk like this one. I said, what? He said, chaku hai. Chaku means, chaku means knife. I said, chaku. I through my face, I denied. Chaku hai. He said, there is knife inside. I still did not believe. But chaku. No. Still I was reluctant. Then he said, go check it up, Then I saw all that. And he did not tell me which baggage, Prabhu. So I checked up all this, I said, knife, is shaving, I don't, at least shaver is okay. Knife, where's the question? No way, And then again I went back, again I put it, again it went through. Then that guy, little bit wild, Then I told you there is a knife inside. And I said, I'm sorry, I have to apologize, sorry, Then can you please show me, I said that. He opened that, Mahaprasad, I think I've kept in one of the bag or something, I can't remember. But anyway, it was in one of the baggages. When you opened Mahaprasad, I was thinking, what is Mahaprasad? When you opened the Mahaprasad, that the Pujari has kept a small knife by mistake. You know, the knife, Prabhu, one small knife was there. How would they noted it? Then I said, I'm very sorry, I didn't know it. They understood that and they left. Now, say for example, if I'm very suspicious or something, they could have arrested me, isn't it? Because they gave a warning to check up and still I said nothing is there. So we should be very careful also. The last thing I thought was in the Mahaprasad, how can there be, inside the box there is a knife, sharp knife. By mistake, something is ended up. I was thinking, oh Krishna, then I apologized and till I was in the flight, I wasn't sure. They called me or something. And then finally when the flight took off, I said, and they took the knife anyway. So the point is, every place has got a law, rules, regulations. If you don't follow, you end up in problem. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada is also saying, this material world is also governed by rules and regulations. If you don't know, then you have to suffer in the form of karma more and more. So this happened. So in terms of suffering, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, he had said in a lecture, this is a very good statement, I liked it, so I thought I'll repeat that. He says exactly this. The root cause of all the suffering is desires. Desires. Okay? Now, he says that, this is very good, please listen, right? Desires are powerful but subtle. Very subtle, Prabhu. I don't know what you're thinking, you don't know what I'm thinking, very subtle. But it will become powerful. Okay, very subtle but powerful. Then he said, due to one's desire, one becomes a president, one cheats, goes to the jail. Due to the desire, one marries, one divorces. This is all because of desires. Isn't it, if you really think? And therefore he says, the problem we are facing is choosing a wrong desire. And those wrong desire will not be fulfilled nor satisfied. And it will go life after life. Wrong desires. For example, someone has married, they're not happy with the family life. That's still there, And next birth, again, one more family life. This situation, they would have set it, adjusted. Another problem starts up. In the next marriage, they fix up this one, another one pops up. Not satisfied, dissatisfied, because of desires. Therefore, he says, the antidote is to have a pure desire, not a wrong or misdirected or a material desire. And it's easy to say, I'm just saying, but the pure desire is always directed towards Krishna. Any form. Doesn't matter. Directed towards Krishna. In that way, he says that's a passport to spiritual world. That desire of the. So in this connection, I thought there are two things. Okay? Based on the desire. Faith is very important. We'll discuss very soon what it is. 2 stories we're discussing, which will keep you, right? Which will keep you listening. So 2 stories we'll discuss very shortly. So the 2 stories are depending on faith. Okay? Faith is very important, Prabhu. Any walk of life. Let it be material, let it be spiritual, let it be buying a car, let it be selling a house. The faith is very important. In terms of selling a property, you will say, what selling a property? You should know which real estate agent you're going to give the house to sell. If he is a cheater, you're finished, right? The car also, you should know where to buy. If you buy from a cheater, the car is gone. So faith is a very fundamental thing. Doesn't matter material or spiritual. Faith is important. First point, we're going to talk about a story. The second thing is, the suffering or a difficulty can come in different forms. Same suffering, it will come in different forms. We are going to see through a story. How? How the same suffering will come in different forms. Okay? Are we ready for the story? Oh, that is good. The first is faith. Our story starts with a flight. Now I talked about a flight. A flight moving from London to United States of America. A flight is starting from the destination, from the source to the destination. London to USA. Many people are there in the flight. The flight took off, it's going. As you know, it is a very far away. The distance is far away, and therefore the flight has got a long journey. During the journey of the flight, you know there will be a lot of turbulences because it's about 16 or 18 hours flight. During that time, one such time, there was a severe turbulence, because of the, whatever conditions you call, weather condition, the flight was basically, like going like a ship. Now, obviously, people are scared. So, all of them were really fearful. At that time, the pilot said, listen, we are going through a very bad weather area, and because of this, you could see a lot of turbulences for next half an hour. Please go to your seat, fasten your belt, sit tight, do not move. It's an order from the captain. So everyone went back, and because of the wind and all that, the flight was going, and in between they could see some lightning and all that. So everyone was scared. Finished. Okay? That's it. What can happen? Maximum we are going to die. At that time, all were praying, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara. One started, Namaste Narasimhaya. Because at least Narasimha will protect you, if not Krishna. So all were going on at that time. This guy, he saw in the corner a small girl, about 5 years old. She was smiling and very happy. See, if there is a fear, you will panic and you will not do your work. But if you don't have the fear, right now there is no fear here. So we are all happy. Suddenly if there is an earthquake, we will run out, isn't it? So like that, this girl, there was no fear on the face, very happy and just, doing some drawing and happily. And this guy was praying, keep constantly observing this girl. And this girl for the next half an hour or so, very, very happy, cheerful, no symptom of fear. But still, one may say, young girl, doesn't matter. No, young girl also have fear. Isn't it? Anyone living entity will have fear. Let it be young or old. If the flight is shaking like this, don't you have a fear? But this girl was not having. So, and the half an hour became 45 minutes, 45 minutes became 1 hour. And then there was an announcement. Yes, now we crossed this disaster situation. Now we are relatively safe. All of you can release your belt and you can be comfortable. We have passed through this zone. And then this guy again looked at the girl. The girl is still okay. Still happy only. Then he thought, only the mother was there. He thought, okay, I want to talk to them, but now, almost it's there. Let them get down, in the airport, I'll talk to them. So the flight landed. They went into the airport. And somehow he traced them and he wanted to speak not to the mother, but to the girl. So he went and approached the girl and he said, hey, sweetie, how come we are all, turbulence? Even the other children of your age, they were also scared. But you are the only one of your age who are just happily doing and all that. Again she smiled. What is the reason? Then the child looked at the mother. The mother looked at the child. Then the mother said, you talk, you tell. Did you know the story, anyone? No? Then it's okay. Then it's very simple but effective. Then the child said, yeah, I have gone many times, many flights like this. Okay? Many turbulences have gone. I am not fearful, she said once. Then the other main thing is, I know that the flight will land properly. I've got full faith. Again, this guy was looking for an answer. What is that answer? Then third thing she said was, because my father is a pilot. I've seen many times my father as very efficient. He has never done. This time also I knew that he will take me safely. So much faith this girl has got in their father, who's a pilot. And therefore, she landed up also. So in the same way, do we have faith in Krishna as a father? We have to ask ourselves. Okay? That's a question. Now, moving on, you can answer your question. I'm not going to ask you. The second question is, how troubles or difficulties come in different form, but the same trouble in a life? One more story. Now, this story is starting from a very populated, city. We can say Chennai, maybe. Mumbai would be a better example because it's very populated. Okay, we'll say Mumbai. You know how in Mumbai, electric trains is very, very crowded. Have you seen, Prabhu? Have you been to Mumbai? Electric train? We've heard at least, it's jam-packed, okay? People will be, rushing and coming and all that. Mumbai. Electric train. Now, this guy, our hero of the story, he was a student. He was in Mumbai. He has to go through the public transport system for his university. He went to the university, he got a job also. Even after getting a job, still he has to use a public transport. Again, he has to go through the public system. Again, he has to go through the people rushing him, pressing him, colliding with him and all that. He was feeling very uncomfortable. What is this? Too much. I have to find a solution. So he started working on it. He was wondering, where can I get a visa? I want to go to a different place. It is too much for me. People are rushing. I can't do my things, this is not the way I want to travel and all that. Then he said, I want to go to some place where it is very nice. So he looked at all the, places. Then he selected, let me go to London because it's good, all the public transport is good. And people are, less, we can go happily and all that, Then he applied for a visa to London and a job and all that. And subsequently he has to wait and he got it also. So now he has gone to London. In the London, right, he was using the public transport system and he was so fascinated because in the public transport system, there were only few people, like in Australia. Out of the very big bus, electronic bus with all this nice facilities, there is only 5 people or something, and he was happily thinking, I've done a beautiful decision, wonderful decision I've taken. Right now, I can read, I can do, I can play whatever I want. No one to, so happily, and no one to bother me. Happily, I can just go out, come, and all that. So he was happily going through the public transport system. He thought, I got rid of this, and now I'm very happy. One day, he had a chance to sit closer to the driver. Okay? Sometimes you sit in many places. This time he sat next to the driver, near to the driver, and he was observing and all that. And then as he was observing, he saw one camera. A camera was there. Then he was a little bit suspicious. He said, driver, what is that? Looks like a camera. He said, yes, spot on. You're right. It's a camera, Then he said, why the camera is there in the bus? He said, you don't know, you're new. They said, relatively new, He said, this path we are using is many times in the past, people have raided the bus and, they take away all the belongings. Sometimes they killed also. So this camera will protect you because in case if there is anything, we'll come to know after death. So that other people will benefit. He was flabbergasted. What is this? I left Mumbai because there was a problem with the train. I want to be comfortable. Here I came. I'm very comfortable because only less people. But still, there is a threat for my life. But in Mumbai, there was no threat for my life. It's only, like I was feeling uncomfortable. But here, my life is a threat, but the surroundings may be good. So, what we learn is problems can come in different shapes, different forms, but it will never be free. This world is never free. If there is no problem, this part, there will be problem on the other side. For example, people who are not married, they'll think, oh, I wish I could be married, family life. But people who are married, they'll think, why did I marry? What did this happen? People who don't have a job, they'll think, oh, professor is getting 200K job. How nice to get 200K job. But people who are working, they'll think, what a headache. I want to become a brahmachari. Pasture on the other side is always greener. This is what is going on. Right? If you don't have a car, there is one problem. Because, I can't drive, I have to go to the public transport. But if you have a car, if you go through a red light camera, speeding camera, $200 fine. Insurance. If you make an accident, problem, legal, court case. Public transport, your legs and hands will be safe. But in the car, it's not guaranteed, right? If you have a head-on collision, it's not safe. So therefore, there are problems always inherent. But in one part or in one side, there may be a problem which may not be much. On the other side, it may be comfortable, but the problem may be too much. It's very difficult. But the material world will never be free of problems. Because sometime earlier, like 1 or 2 months back, I remember I did this verse. It says, material world, the problem is like weights. Your weight is here. It is paining for you. So what you do? You move the weight here. It is paining. You put it here. You put it there. And finally, what you do? Put on a head. That's it. This is all it is. So it is quite like that. Okay. So I'll stop here. So if there is any questions, comments, anything, we quickly see that. Otherwise, okay. Yes, Prabhu.
So you mentioned that Daksa in his previous birth, he performed austerities until the 6th month Manvantar, and then after that he took birth as Daksa. I also read that, but then at the same time, in the 6th canto, when it speaks about the progeny of Daksha's daughter, it speaks that Chakshushamanu takes birth as the son of one of his daughters. So that always confused me. In the 6th canto, it is mentioned how Chakshushamanu, the 6th Manvantar, takes birth as the son of one of Daksha's daughters. Yeah, Chakshushamanu. So I was wondering because I thought Daksha appeared in the 6th Manvantar, but then it's meant the 6th month birth as his grandson. Maybe you can.
We have to follow the teachings of Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. What the senior acharyas are saying, I cannot comment now. Sorry, if someone knows it, fine.
Like I can read you the verse. No, in this birth. Yeah, later on. 50,000 sons. Exactly. Exactly.
And then you offer 50,000 dollars.
Yes, it's like
What is the question?
in the 6th canto, text number chapter 6, text 15. And it speaks how Chakshushamanu himself takes birth from Akriti. Akriti is the daughter of Chakshushamanu of Daksha. But then in this verse, you mentioned how actually Daksha appeared in the 6th Manvantar.
So in that Chakshushamanu is again born as
Yes, I always thought it's confusing because I thought maybe you can bring some clarity. Okay, fine.
probably what I would suggest is to do. Reserve this question for Swami. At least we know, we can refer Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti. He clarifies all this.
I can try again tomorrow with Kangeshwara, please. Okay, thank you.
Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaura Premananda.